child's pose. So make sure that your big toes are touching at the back of your mat. Knees can be together or apart, it's up to you. And then just fold forward and just release down. Bring the forehead to the floor, your arms wherever you want them to be, but let your elbows drop down onto the mat. And just take some nice big deep breaths here. And really focus on sending the breath into your back ribs, opening up the back body. And each exhale, allow your bottom to drop down onto your heel a little bit more. Maybe have a little shift from side to side to see if we can get deeper and more connected with our tailbone to our heels as well. You can rock your head from side to side here as well to smooth out any creases in the forehead. And just exhale out any tension that you may have brought with you to your mat today. Okay, so just check in with how you're feeling physically. Just make sure that you are comfortable in this position and just check that there's no niggles going on. If you have got an injury, just be aware of it throughout. Hopefully we'll be able to find some headspace today. So let's focus on the breath. Breathing in and out through the nostrils and just finding that smooth cycle of breath. Let your shoulders be soft, let the hips be soft. Soften them more with each breath. And push the breath down a little bit deeper, so try and get the breath deep down into the belly. And let it go. Okay, let's set an intention for practice today. So we always like to practice with intention, with a focus. So think about what that might be. So how you would like to feel, how you would like to be. Set that as your intention and visualize it as if it is already happening. So always in the present tense, always positive, as if it is already happening. So think of yourself in that way and really visualize. Have that picture in the front of your mind. All right, and then start creeping your fingertips further forward towards the top edge of the mat so that the elbows lift, the fingers are spread nice and wide. And then pull yourself up and come into a tabletop position. So just make sure that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders and knees are directly underneath our hips. Okay, as you inhale, I want you to lift your head and tilt your tailbone back. And then exhale, round the spine, bring your chin into your chest and then push your bottom back to your heels again. Now pull forward into tabletop, lower your chin and chest down to the mat, keeping the elbows tight, and then release to lay down. Keep the hands under your shoulders and then just squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the chest. Exhale, lower it back down, come up into tabletop and back to that child's pose position. We're just going to repeat that once more. So inhale, come forward. As you exhale, lower chin and chest down. Release down to lay down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest into baby cobra. Exhale, lower it back down. Push up onto hands and knees and all the way back into your child's pose. Lovely. Coming up into tabletop. Now tuck your toes and lift your hips. Lift your hips up nice and high before straightening the legs, and then slowly lower the heels down to the mat. Have a pedal out here if you want to, so bending one leg then the other, pushing alternate heels down to the floor. Make sure you've got space around your ears so you can give the head a shake out as well. And we'll repeat what we just did, but from downward facing dog rather than child's pose. So as you inhale, come forward to plank. And then lower knees, chin and chest to the mat. Release to lay down, come up a little bit higher, maybe into a full cobra. And then tuck the toes and push back to downward facing. And once more, come forward to plank. Lower the knees, chin and chest to the mat. Slide through and into your cobra position. Toes tuck, hips lift. Downward facing dog. Then walk your feet up towards your hands, up at the top of the mat, grabbing onto opposite elbows and ragdoll here. So the knees can be soft, hold on to opposite elbows, have a little sway from side to side. Let the head hang heavy, let the neck be long. And then bring your fingertips to the floor, so bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands touching the mat. And then I just want you to rock forward and back. So lifting your heels, then rocking back and lifting the toes. And do that again, so lift the heels, then rocking back. And then I want you to find a place where you've got equal pressure through the four corners of your feet. Knees can be soft, that's fine. So four corners, equal pressure, then roll up slowly. And come up to standing. Take your arms up to the sky, touch your palms together, bring your hands into prayer at heart center. And just feel how your feet feel here. So when we stand, we tend to put a lot of weight into our heels. So I just want you to shift a little bit forward so you've got some into the balls of your feet as well. Have a tuck under the tailbone. Hands are in prayer. Take an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands onto the shins or floor, halfway lift. Fold and then step back with the right foot. Drop the knee down onto the floor and then tuck the toe. Come up and into your low lunge, so arms to the sky. Tuck the tailbone, let's sink into the hip here. So if you turn your little fingers towards each other, it will open up through the shoulders. We can just keep sinking into the hip to get that nice stretch going on. Breathe in, sink deeper. Take another breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Now push down with the right hand, take your left hand up and look towards those top fingers, so twisted half lunge. Take a breath here and reach up really high. Then release that hand down, so left hand outside the left foot, take your right hand up. So we're taking it to the other side. Good, and then release that hand down. From here, tuck the back toe, step back, down dog. So hips get high, heels push down. Lift the right leg up and then step it forward. So just transferring to the other side. Drop your back knee down and tuck the back toe, arms come up into your low lunge. So pull the ribcage back in. So you want your lower core engaged. Shoulders are relaxed, pinkies turn towards each other. Breathe in, tuck the tailbone, let's sink into the hip. And again, let's sink even deeper. Big, deep inhale. And exhale, hands down to frame that front foot. Keep the left hand planted, reach the right hand up into your twisted lunge. So you should feel a stretch coming through the buttock. And then extend those fingertips up as high as we can get them. Look towards your top hand. And then exhale, release the hand down to the floor, tuck the back toe. Step back, downward facing dog. Bring it forward into plank. Lower through chaturanga or knee, shin and chest. Push through and into your back bend. Roll those shoulders back and down. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing. Then from downward facing dog, walk or step both feet to the top. Lift the chest halfway and now fold. Good. Come up on the inhale. Reach up high. Hands to prayer, heart center. So we're going to sun salutation B now. We always do sun A, so let's do sun B. So reach up on the inhale and then sit down into chair posture. So as if you're sitting in an imaginary seat. If you look at your knees, you should be able to see your toes. Okay, arms extend up, palms are facing towards each other. Now tuck the tailbone so we protect the lower back and sit down even deeper. Breathe in. Sit deeper still, really get those legs working. Inhale here, exhale deeper, one more, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Lift the chest and lengthen, step it back to plank, lower to chaturanga, push through into up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Then the right leg lifts up, steps forward. Now pop your left heel down the diagonal and then come up with the hips and shoulders forward into warrior one. So arms to the sky, bend deep into that front knee. And then make sure this left hip pulls forward as well. Take your hands behind your back and interlace them. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest, then bow down into humble warrior. The chest comes down inside that front leg. Look towards your back toes. Let your head go. Try not to let your right hip stick out. Tuck it into the center of the mat. The arms are moving up and away from the bottom, and the head is reaching down towards the floor. Lovely. Take another breath here. Go deeper with your head towards the inside of that foot. Raise up on the inhale. Take your arms up. As you exhale, lift your back heel. Bring your hands down to the floor. Now this right leg's going to kick back into three-legged dog. So right leg goes high. Okay, let's bring our right knee to our nose, so round the spine. Push it back up, and again, round. Push it back up, one more time. Round, and then step it forward. Bring the other foot forward as well. Halfway lift, and fold. Good, come up into chair, so sit your bottom. Bring your arms forward and up. Hold for a breath. And then release. Give the legs a bit of a wiggle. Good, well done. Let's do the other side. So arms up. Sit down to chair. Find that seat again. Make sure the toes are visible. Tuck the bottom under. Reach the arms up. Relax the shoulders. If it's too much for the shoulders, hands in prayer. Keep sitting deep. Sit deeper as you exhale. And again, deeper still. Next exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen, jump or step back, plank to chaturanga, or you can use knees, chin, chest if you prefer. Push through to your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Step it forward. So the right heel goes on the diagonal. So right toes are pointing to 10 o'clock. Come up, both hips, both shoulders are forward. So pull the right hip forward. Arms to the sky, palms are facing. Bend deep into that front knee. Good. Each exhale, bend deeper, take your hands behind, interlace and squeeze and open the chest. Then bow the chest down into humble warrior. Letting the head go down towards the floor. The shoulder is on or inside the knee, depends how deep you want to go. But pull the left hip to the center of the mat. Bring the arms up and away from the bottom. Work your head closer down to the floor if you can as you exhale. Keep pushing down through the edge of that right foot as well. Good, go deeper, deeper, deeper. And then inhale, raise up slowly. Take your arms to the sky. Lift your back heel. Exhale, hands down. Kick the left leg back into three-legged dog. So left leg goes up. Then left knee to nose, round the spine. Push it back, and again, knee to nose. Push it back up. Once more, knee to nose, and then step it forward. Bring the other foot to join it. Halfway lift, and fold. Come into chair posture, bottom down, arms up in front. Pause for a breath, and release. Well done, hands to prayer. Good. Okay, should be feeling a bit warmer. We're just going to repeat that a few times and just add bits in, all right? So starting with the feet together, remember, weight in the four corners of your feet. So feet and knees together. Take the arms up as you inhale, sit down, chair posture as you exhale. Bring the hands into prayer this time and twist the left elbow onto the right knee. So we're twisting to the side. Now your left knee will probably want to push forward. Bring it back in line. And then if you push down with the right hand, try and get your thumbs into your heart center and look over the right shoulder. Drop your bottom down as deep as it'll go. And just feel this twist through the abdomen. Good. All the way up and into the neck as well. All right, inhale, take your prayer and straighten your legs, reach up. Let's sit back down and twist to the other side. So right elbow onto left knee. Make sure that right knee doesn't push forward, pull it in line, and then push down with the left hand onto the right, turn the chest, thumbs into heart center, look over your left shoulder. Good, sit that bottom down deeper. So you should be feeling it in the legs by now. Keep going, keep breathing. And then inhale, raise your prayer to the ceiling, straighten your legs. Exhale, forward fold. Good, halfway lift. Step or jump back, plank to chaturanga. Come through into up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Good, take the right leg up. Step it forward, in between the hands. And then that warrior one again. So drop your left heel on the diagonal. Arms come up and into warrior one. Hips and shoulders are forward. Take the hands behind, interlace, open the chest, Bow down into your humble warrior. Look towards your back foot. We're only passing through, so inhale, raise it back up to the ceiling. Lift your back heel, bring your hands down and frame the foot, and kick this right leg back up into three-legged dog. Bring the knee to your nose and round, and push it up, and round, and push it up. One more time, knee to nose, and then step the foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. So we should be in a runner's lunge position, yeah? Okay, if you drop your back heel down, you can cartwheel your hands open and into warrior two. So right toe should be forward, arms are at shoulder height. Push that knee out towards your little toe. Okay, relax your shoulders. And then reach forward, flip your palm, and then reverse. So right hand to the ceiling, left hand's just tickling this back leg, or wrap it behind and see if you can get hold of your right thigh, and then reach back. Good. Look towards that top hand. Bend deeper into this front knee. This leg should be screaming at you by now. All right, bring the elbow to the knee. Reach the left arm up and overhead for an extended side angle. Take some breaths here. Squeeze that right hip under. Well done. Keep going. Keep breathing. Squeeze the hip under. Pull the left shoulder back. Look towards the arm. And create that diagonal line from fingertips all the way down to your heel. Inhale, lift it back up. Warrior two. Finish nice and strong. Cartwheel your hands down. Frame your foot. Now step forward and fold over your legs. Deep forward fold here. Drop your bottom down. Sweep your arms forward into chair posture. And then push out to release. Give the legs a wiggle. Same again, other side. Reach up on the inhale. Sit your chair down. Hands to prayer, heart center. Remember our twist. We're going to move with the breath this time. So inhale here. As you exhale, left elbow, right knee. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. Inhale, back to center. Left elbow, right knee. As long as you're going side to side, it's fine. Back to center. One more. Twist this side. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky, straighten your legs, and forward fold. Halfway lift. Jump or step back. Plank to chaturanga, or use your knees if necessary. Push through, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Okay, from there, left leg. Take it up high. Take your left leg up. Step it forward and in between the hands. Pop the back heel on the diagonal, warrior one. So we're going for a humble warrior. Take your hands behind your back and open up the chest. Bow it down into humble. Arms are coming overhead. Look at your back foot. Come up again. Inhale. Warrior one. Lift your back heel. Bring the hands down to the front foot. Kick the left leg back into three-legged dog. And then knee to nose. So round the spine. Push it back up. We do 3 of these. Knee to nose. Push it up. Last one, knee to nose. Then step that foot all the way forward at the top. Fabulous. All right, the back heel. Pop it on the diagonal. Spin open and into your warrior two. Left side. So left toes are pointing forward. Just check your left heel is in line with the arch of the right foot. And your knee is going towards your little toe. Arms are shoulder height. Bend deep. Reach forward. Flip. Reverse. Left hand to the sky. Right hand. Reach it behind you. Give it a bit of help to get hold of your front thigh. And then really open up this rib cage. Reach all the way back. Bend deep into the knee. Good, and then bring your left elbow onto the knee, reach your right arm up and overhead for extended side angle. So see that diagonal line from my fingertips all the way down to that heel. So try not to collapse forward, keep yourself open so the chest is fully open. Push the right shoulder back, squeeze the left hip under, and if there was a wall behind you, imagine you're pushing yourself back onto that wall.
breathe. Keep the core engaged. Lovely, good work. Come up, warrior two. Finish with a strong warrior. Cartwheel your hands down to frame that front foot. Step forward, both feet together. Halfway lift. Now hold onto the back of the legs and pull yourself in tight. Soften the knees if you need to. Try and get your chest on your thighs and your forehead on your shins and lift your bottom into the air. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Come up slowly as you inhale. Arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Well done. Nice strong flow. Hope you're all right. Still with me. Have a drink if you need one. Okay, just eating my hair today. Right, we're going to take a balancing tree posture now. So weight into your left foot, bring your right knee into your chest. So get the balance and then guide the foot into place, above or below the knee joint. So start off with your hands in prayer. For those of us with really good balance, you can maybe take your arms up and find branches. If you prefer to stay here, with your hands in prayer, stay here. Just work on pushing the knee out and engaging from your pelvic floor up through the midline of the body and out to the crown of your head. Use all of the toes on your left foot to help balance. Nip your shoulder blades together so that the chest is open. And a nice steady gaze forwards. So if we can't get above the knee, below the knee is fine. Just hold for another breath or two. Just going to turn back to the front. Okay, so bring your prayer back to center and your knee in front. We're stepping half a mat's distance. So not a very long stance, yeah? So just make sure your hips are square to the front of your mat and make sure your feet are on train tracks rather than one behind the other. Now this prayer, take it behind your back. So if you can get a prayer position behind your back, if that's not an option, hold on to opposite elbows, yeah? You just want your chest to be nice and open. So feet are pointing forward, the hips are square, and then breathe in on the inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, let's bring the left chest down to the left thigh. Look in front of your big toe and really lengthen the spine. Push your left hip back and bring the right hip forward so that we are bringing our chest all the way down, and then you can start bringing your forehead down towards your shin if it's there, okay? If you want to make it a bit deeper, release your hands and then interlace them behind your right leg, just to give you a bit more leverage to go deeper still, okay? So keep folding, so you should feel a stretch on the back of the hamstrings. Okie dokies, as you inhale, let's raise it back up again. So find your arm variation at the back again if we let go. And then put the weight into that front knee, so into the left knee, so we can lift the right leg up and take our warrior three, keeping the hips square. The left leg, try to straighten it. Capital T shape with the body, keep the chest open. Now release your hands down to the floor as you lift that leg higher into standing splits. So it's a little bit like a splits position. So lift that leg as high as you can. Try and take some weight into your hands and bring your forehead towards your shin here. Then very slowly we're going to lower that foot all the way to the back of the mat. So all the way to the back, so we're into a runner's lunge. Yeah? Now step back to plank. Bring the left foot back to join the right and into plank. Lovely. Lower, chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. Push through and into your back bend. Then all the way back into downward facing dog. Well done. Let's take some breaths here. So either down dog or drop your knees down and take a child's pose. You've got about 5 breaths. So choose which one feels better. Have a drink if you need one. So just reconnecting in with the breath. Checking how we're feeling after doing that side. We'll do the same on the other side. So release any tension that you're holding on to and remind yourself of your focus.
the intention you set at the beginning, bring that picture back into the front of your mind. Keep it there. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, jump or step to the top, take that halfway lift and fold. Come up on the inhale, raise the arms up, bring the hands into prayer and finish at heart center. Well done. Take the weight into your right foot. Let's bring the left knee into the chest. So same on the other side. For your tree posture, hands are in prayer. If balance is our friend, maybe grow our branches, find our tree. If not, mine is working today. Hands stay in prayer, heart center. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Make sure pelvic floor is on. Zip up and extend and out of the crown of the head. So nice and tall. Keep the breath flowing. Close your eyes if you want that challenge. Spread those right toes out as well. Make sure you're making good use of all of them. Lovely. All right, let's bring the prayer back into center and the knee forward. Step back half a mat's distance. Both feet are pointing forwards. Hips are square. Take your prayer behind your back or an opposite elbow grab, whichever one feels better. Then lift the chest as you inhale. Fold down, right chest to right thigh as you exhale. Pull the belly in. Push the right hip back. Extend the spine. Make it longer. Look in front of that big toe. And then start folding down. Bringing the forehead down to the shin if it's there for you. And then if you want to make it a little harder, we can interlace our fingers behind the back of the left leg. You can always have a little bend into the left leg to get your hands interlaced and then re-straighten. And then you can really squeeze yourself onto that leg. But keep pushing in the right hip back. Don't forget the right hip. Push it back so you really extend and feel the stretch down the back of this leg. Take another breath and go deeper. Release the hands and come up slowly. So find the prayer or the opposite elbow grab that we had before. Bend into the right knee. Take the weight forward and lift that back leg up into your warrior 3. Keeping the hips square. Keep the back foot flexed, so left foot flex it. So the toes should be pointing down to the floor. Release your hands down to the mat and then lift that left leg as high as you can to standing splits. Take some weight into your hands so that you can start bringing your chest to your thigh. And really lift that leg, defy gravity. Get that left leg higher, higher, higher. Then slowly, very slowly, lower it down to the back of the mat and sink into your runner's lunge. Brilliant. Step back to plank. The right foot steps back to join the left. Lower chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. Push through and into your back bend. Drop your knees down to the floor and sit back and take a well-deserved child's pose. Exhale it out there. Let your elbows drop onto the floor. Just relax, release, let it go. Fabulous. Take some breaths. Really breathe into the back body. Maybe roll the forehead from side to side, let go of tension. Sigh out through the mouth if you want to take a cleansing breath. Let it go. Okay, come up into your little tabletop. Just check you're feeling okay. And then from here, downward facing dog. So we're going to move on to work on the hips now. So from our downward facing dog, if you look at where your hands are, we're going to jump our feet to either side of our hands. So just a little hop, hop those feet forward, and then we can sit down into yogic squat. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Yeah? So if you use your elbows to push your knees out nice and wide, and the thumbs come into the sternum. Now, try not to collapse in, push, and make it strong. If the heels aren't touching down, then they will make progress and make their way there eventually. All right, if this isn't working, if you feel like you're not doing anything, lift your bottom up a bit, and then that will really fire into your hips.
So finding your breath here to begin with. Just pushing those knees out nice and wide. If you've got lovely open hips, you can even start to come onto fingertips so you can push those knees even further out. So taking the palms of the hands away from each other. Always stay in prayer, whichever one works for you today. And then drop your fingertips down to the floor. So spread the fingers out nice and wide. Then lift your hips up to the ceiling. So it's a wide leg forward fold. Now make sure the fingers are spread out. Bend your knees and put them onto your triceps. And then look and lean forward. Just get the weight into your hands. If you want to go into a Bakasana here, you can. If you don't want to go into a Bakasana, just look and lean forward and get used to putting weight into your hands. You might find that one or both feet float up into your balance, or they may just stay down, whichever. Take some breaths here. And then release yourself back into that little squat position when you're done. So from yogic squat, we're going to sit onto our bottom and end in Navasana, which is half boat. So drop your bum down and lift your legs up into your boat. Arms are extending forward. Hold onto the back of the thighs if you need to. Really lengthen through the spine and lift the chest. So the lower legs are parallel with the mat. Lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Breathe into the chest. As you exhale, open. Let's lift back up. And then open fully. Take your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. Reach the fingertips towards the back of your mat and your toes to the front. Breathe it out. And then we're going to roll up the spine. So roll up the arms, the head, the shoulders, squeeze, pull your toes towards you, push your chest forward and get hold of your toes. If you can't get hold of your toes, get hold of your shins. And then just walk forward. We'll walk on from one bum cheek to the other just to release onto the front of the sitting bones. Then push your chest towards your toes. So you should feel a stretch coming through the back of the legs. So try not to round like this because it'll dump into the back. Keep pushing the chest forward and pulling the toes up towards you. All right, we're going to do another one of those. So release and then roll down slowly. So one vertebra at a time, going all the way down. Take the arms up and overhead. Take that stretch. And then let's come back up again. So arms, head, shoulders, engage everything. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Push the chest forward, pull your toes up to meet you and take hold. And again, let's walk on the sitting bones until we can get into that forward fold position. Good. Try to push the chest a little bit closer towards your toes. Fabulous. And then inhale, bring your knees in, cross your feet over, and let's take hold of the feet. Now, if you want to, you can just roll straight forward, but what's the fun in that? We'll do a couple of rock and rolls. So we'll do 3 rock and rolls, and then roll over the knees, hands down, jump back into chaturanga. Yeah? Let's have a go. Okay, so make sure there's nothing behind you before you start. And then rock back and up. That's 1. Don't let the feet touch down. And another 2. Right, this next one, roll over your knees. So rock back and then come over your knees, hands to the floor, jump the feet back, land in chaturanga. Did we make it? Push through into your back bend. And exhale into downward facing dog. Don't worry, you're going to get another chance to have a go. So just take down dog. Remember that little hop into a squat position. Yeah, let's do that again. So hop your feet either side of your hands into yogic squat. And then hands come into prayer. We've got one more attempt at Bakasana, or just getting the weight into the hands, just to practice. So place the hands down, lift the hips up nice and high. Wiggle it out. Now get that strong base of support. Fingers are spread, knees onto triceps, look forward, lean forward and weight into the hands. If you want, then we can take one or both feet off the floor. We can play around, we can go into headstand, we can do all sorts of things here. But it's your practice, so choose what feels better. Whether you want to take your feet off the floor or not is entirely up to you. Okay, when you have finished, come back into yogic squat. Just take a breath there. Are we there? Fabulous. All right, hands to the floor, lift your hips to the sky. And then if you keep your right foot where it is, the left foot, we're going to take a big step back and then lower that back knee. Now, we want the right foot level with both of the hands at the top of the mat. So you've got right foot, right hand, left hand, all in a line, and your left knee's back there somewhere. Just to work into half lizard. So we can have a little wiggle here, just move the hips from side to side. And then keeping the left hand planted, take your right hand up to the ceiling to open up. So try and push your pelvis down to the floor. Here, so really drive those hips down, and then use this right hand to push the right knee away. So push the knee away and open up into the hip. Let the foot go onto its outside edge so that the foot opens a little bit more. Then you can twist and look over your right shoulder. All right, if you want to, you can even get hold of your back foot and pull that in, if that's an option for you. It's quite a deep stretch on the quad though, so just see how it goes. Take some more breaths like this. And then see if you can lower down, do the same thing, but on your left forearm. And then again, push that knee away. The back foot might be available to you here as well, but that's a really intense stretch if you're down on the forearm. So see how it feels, just breathe into it, just keep the breath flowing wherever you are. I can feel it right in here today, so I'm just going to focus my breath into that area. So wherever you're feeling it in the hip, whether it's inside or deep, right in the joint, focus your breath to that point. All right, a few more breaths there. And then we'll carefully bring ourselves back up onto our hands. And then take your right knee back to join your left. Oh, so we're back into a tabletop, and then we can rotate and release out the hips. Just release them out and take it the opposite direction as well. Lovely. All right, keep your right knee where it is and step your left foot outside your left hand. So we're into our half lizard on the other side. So my left foot, my left hand, my right hand are in line. My right knee is back there. You can take that right knee as far back as you feel comfortable. The further back you go, the deeper it'll go into your hip. So start by just rocking gently from side to side to see how the hips feel on this side. It might be very different to the other side. Push the right hand into the mat. Take the left hand up towards the ceiling. Okay, so I'm just going to turn to face you guys so you can see what's going on. So reach the hands up to the ceiling, push your pelvis down towards the floor. And then use the hand to push your knee out. So the foot opens, so the sole of the foot starts opening up. And then we start turning the chest open and looking over that back shoulder. Remember, if you want to get hold of that back foot, you can. I'm not going to on this side because I'm on a wooden floor and it hurts. But if you want to get hold of that back foot and get a deeper stretch into your quad, so the front of your thigh, please feel free. But push that knee out, nice and deep here. And then let's see if we can come down onto our right forearm. So lower that forearm down onto the floor. And again, push the knee out, or maybe get hold of that back foot. And breathe into that hips, wherever it's tight, wherever it is tense. If it's too much on the forearm, you can stay on the hand. Just work into the hip, breathe into that space. And then very carefully bring your hands back underneath your shoulder. Take your left knee back to join with your right. So you're back into that tabletop position. And again, let's hip circle one way and then the other. Bringing our hips now towards our wrists to open up the chest into a cobra. So shoulders are back and down, take the gaze up, look up, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up slowly all the way back into downward facing dog. Brilliant. Okay, one last hop into yogic squat. So look at your hands and jump your feet. Either side, sit it down into yogic squat. And then into that boat position. So we're not doing the cast this time, we're just going to sit the bottom down and open into your boat. Hold it here. Keep lifting up through the chest. Let's open slowly. Lift back up. Let's do 2 more of those. Open slowly and lift. And last one. Open slowly and lift. Now open all the way, extend the arms up and overhead, full body stretch. Remember the roll up, so bring the arms, the head, the shoulders off the floor, squeeze and reach and pull the toes towards you so you can get hold of them or the shins, walking onto the front of the sitting bone so you can push your chest forward. Good, so you should feel the stretch down the back of the legs. Just going to scooch back a bit. So pushing the chest forward and then bring your knees in. We're going to do that little rock and roll thing where we landed in chaturanga. So cross your feet over, get hold of the feet. So we're tucked in nice and tight. And then our 3 rock and rolls. Make sure you've got space behind you. So rock back and up. That's 1, feet stay off the floor. Rock back again and up. That's 2. Third one, rock back and all the way over, hands down, jump or step back to land in chaturanga. Push through into up dog. Exhale into downward facing. Well done. Okay, from here, we need to sit down. So we're going to do a little jump forward again, but this time, as we jump, we're going to cross our feet. So we can come into a cross-legged position. So I just cross my feet as I jump forward, so then I can sit my bottom down. Are we all there? Brilliant. All right, well done. So we're coming into our 3 back bends. So as I am not with you in person today, I want you to just be really mindful of your neck and your back. So take your back bend practice as deep as you feel comfortable with. If you're not sure, then just stay with me with bridge posture, all right? So come down onto your back, bring your knees into your chest initially, so just give your knees a little bit of a hug, and then drop the feet down so that they are hip distance apart and the heels are close to the bottom. You might be able to touch your heels with your middle fingers, all right? Then put your arms down by your side, open up that space between chin and chest, tilt the pelvis, so pull the belly button down and then push your hips up to the ceiling. All right, so keep the arms on the floor for the first one. Keep that space underneath your chin, but always moving your chest towards your chin and not the other way around. So push the floor away, engage your bottom as well to lift yourself up a little bit higher. Breathe in, make sure that push higher, make sure the knees don't go wide, and then as you exhale, slowly lower your spine back down to the floor. Have a breather at the bottom, and we're going to do that again, okay? So tilt the pelvis, push the floor away with your feet, lift your hips. Now let's roll the shoulders under and interlace the hands underneath the back. Okay, so really work those shoulders underneath you so you can get up higher. Keep the core engaged so you're breathing into your chest, and then push the floor away with your feet so you can raise those hips high. Breathe here. If you've got yoga lock with the hands, see if you can squeeze your palms together. It'll get even tighter, and push your little fingers into the floor. Good. Breathe in again. Lift up. Keep lifting. Push the floor away with your feet. Exhale, hands out and roll down slowly. Brilliant. Take the feet a touch wider and just have a little windscreen wipe of the knees from side to side. Okay, so one more. This is the one where if you wish to go deeper, please just be careful. If you want to stay with me, we're going to do a bridge with leg lifts. If you've had enough and don't want to do another one, just rest. That's also fine. So bring those feet in, tilt the pelvis, raise your hips up. Now roll your shoulders under, interlace your hands if you wish. You can keep your arms by your side if you prefer. Get a nice strong bridge, then push into your left foot, raise your right leg up and into a leg lift. Now keep lifting those hips. Good, bring that leg down. Take the other leg straight up.
Point the toes, make it look pretty. Lift those hips, try and get that leg vertical. Good, bring that foot down. Release the hands out of the way and roll down slowly. Well done, just allow the spine to be on the mat. Let the shoulders open and just knock the knees from side to side. You may need to take your feet a bit wider. Just take them one way and then the other. Fabulous. All right, knees into chest. Pull them in tight. Have a little squeeze. Hold on to the back of the thighs. Extend the legs to the ceiling. So flex the feet. Get rid of those ankle clicks. So circle the ankles, maybe flex and point. All right, and then for your inversion today, if waterfall is enough for you, just place your hands underneath your bottom. If you want a restorative posture, this is it. Or you can rest your legs on a chair or against a wall. Or if you're going to come with me, well, let's go to shoulder stand. So lift your bottom off the floor, hands, fingers and thumbs onto the back. And then walk your elbows towards each other so that we can get into more vertical position. Feet, hips and shoulders in one vertical line. Look towards your toes. So you're trying to get your hands up towards your shoulder blades and your elbows closer to each other. There we go. All right, then from here, look at your feet that are pointing the ceiling. And let's see if we can lower one leg down over our head. And then bring it back up again. And then the other one. And then bring it back up again. And then let's try both together and take it towards plough. Now, if your feet touch down, that's great. But if they don't, probably because your hamstrings are tight. So what I would like you to do is flex your feet. You can keep your hands on your back, flex your feet, push up through the back of the knees here and hold that position, or then try to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. So we're still getting the balance on the shoulders, we're still getting the stretch down the back of the hamstrings, and we're getting that compression on the neck, which is stimulating the thyroid and boosting metabolism. So we're still getting all of the inversion benefits and all of the plough benefits, but just not with the feet touching the mat. That's just another option for you to try. So take your breath there. Hold it for as long as you feel comfortable. And then really, really slowly release your arms down to the mat to act as brakes and slowly roll yourself back down onto your mat. Nice and slowly, all the way down. Well done. When your bum touches down, you can bend your knees, or you can keep the legs long, whatever feels better. Just find the floor, basically. Just let yourself relax onto it. All right, we've got a few more, just a couple more postures before we go into relaxation. So let's just stretch out the front of the neck using a half fish posture. So bring your hands underneath your bottom, palms are facing down, coming up onto your elbows and onto your forearms. Tuck your elbows towards each other. Now really push your chest up and drop the head back. So zip the legs together and point the toes. Let the head go all the way back. Keep lifting the chest up really high. Breathe into the throat space, into the front of the neck. And then exhale, really carefully release yourself back onto the mat. Bring your hands out from underneath you and just let the spine settle. All right, so we're just going to finish with one more little hip posture. So if you place your right foot on the floor and then cross your left leg over it. So you want to have your knees crossed. So cross at the knees. So we're not here with a big gap. We're crossed tight at the knees. Then if you bring your knees into your chest and get hold of your feet and then pull the soles of your feet down to the sides of your hips. Okay? Just working into, so this is cow face posture but lid on your back. So the soles of your feet, we're pulling them down towards our hip areas, and then the knees, try and push your knees away from you. So push the knees away so we really get into the hips. Okay, you'll find that, like for me, this knee for me never goes very far because my hip's so super tight. So you might find it easier on one side than the other. Some people can get the legs all the way down to the floor, but my hips don't allow that. So just open up through the hip and then carefully release. Let's try it the other way around. So put the left foot on the floor, cross the right knee over. So the knees are super tight. Then bring the knees in, reach up, get hold of those feet. And then again, pull the soles of the feet towards your hips. Then start pushing your knees away. So I'm getting a little bit deeper on this side. Oh, sometimes I think I need longer arms sometimes for some of these postures. So keep the feet off the floor, but pushing your knees away from you so you can allow those hips to open. Just breathe wherever you feel the tension. If it feels particularly sticky, then just take a few breaths there before trying to go deeper. Well done. And then inhale, bring the knees back in, uncross the legs, just give them a normal hug in, have a rock from side to side, one hand on each knee, and then circle those knees. Circle them as big as you want. Change direction, go the other way around as well. And release off. Well done. Drop your feet to the floor, slide them away from you. So they want to be at least mat distance apart, the arms by your side, palms facing up. Big deep breath in here. And exhale. Let it go and sink into the mat. Well done. If you need some support for the lower back, bend the knees and knock them together. Close your eyes or soft gaze at the ceiling and just use these last few moments just to relax completely. Well done, that was a really strong practice. So really think about breathing in relaxation and breathing out any tension that's remaining anywhere within you. Whether it will be in the joint, in a muscle somewhere, or maybe it's in the head, too much going on. Use your exhale as a release. So breathe in positivity and relaxation and just breathe out anything you don't need anymore. Let it go. Let your muscles be soft and your limbs to be heavy. Surrender to the mat. Let go completely. Use this time to reset your body, your mind, your breath. And let the breath return and find its own natural, normal rhythm once more. So we're not forcing it in any way, we're just allowing it to flow. Bring your focus, your intention for practice back into the front of the mind. Visualize yourself being, feeling, acting in the way that you wish. See it as if it is already happening. Like planting that seed of intention in the subconscious and allowing it to grow. And then when you're ready, some small movements back into fingers and toes. Just little wiggles, reawakening the physical body. Taking the arms up and overhead for a full body stretch. And then bringing your knees into your chest. Hugging them in nice and tight, rocking over onto your right side. Just pause for a breath or two there.
Push yourself back up to seated when you're ready. Let's all meet seated, facing forwards. In a comfortable cross-leg position with a tall spine and relaxed shoulders. Hands can come into prayer at heart center. So just check that the energy is equal within and around you. Give thanks to everyone who has shared this practice with you today. I thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you. As always, a pleasure. Namaste.